it's me again, Messy Handle. If you didn't watch the first one, I'm just homesick. I don't feel like trying to look any type of way. I'm just being myself. There's always going to be a hater, whether you put yourself up or don't. So, I got the case of the fuck it's today, and we're rolling with it. But this is part 2 to the Taylor Swift conversation. Covered a lot about how I felt about her football appearances in the NFL thing. I focused more on that. But let's get into the political aspect. I did cover a little bit. I just don't think she has a realistic perspective of the world and our true needs, or how much the immigration is really impacting everyday life for a majority of this country, especially in states like mine, New York, Texas, any of the states that border the land between the United States and Mexico. They're all having problems. And then all of us sanctuary cities like Syracuse, we always help immigrants. We were founded to be a part of the movement. And we have, in my area, not so much, we do have Mexican immigrants, but we have a lot of Middle Eastern immigrants that helped during the war, like translators and stuff, that if they stayed in the country, them and their families would be hunted. They honestly earned their way here by helping the military. I don't feel like they are immigrants. I feel like they are allies, and they are treated differently because, you know, there is a law that if you sign up, or there used to be, I'm not sure if it's still in effect, but you used to be able to become a citizen by joining the military and giving 4 years of your life to helping us protect our borders or fight in a war. We help you become a citizen because you're willing, you know, to help us. So I feel like that was a 10-year long war, and they did more than 4 years of service, and they have earned their status here, and they have earned their help, and their lives are completely at risk. If we leave them in their country for helping us, they will be made an example of. It was our duty to help them in that situation. So I get really upset when I lost a fiance, I lost some of the best friends I had in this war. I defend and protect these people because if they were here, they would be. It's for them because they aren't here to voice the fact that these people saved their lives. They know the country. They know it way better than Americans do. They knew how to plan effective attacks. They knew how to get our people out, or any of our allies out, from England without harm. They know a lot about the technology they use for the explosive devices, or the areas around where some of them are trapped and buried under, to try to, you know, get American troops to drive over it and blow themselves up. A lot of bomb techs owe their lives to these people who, just by talking to the Americans, just by giving them information, puts this giant target on their back at the time, and still to this day. They're still over there. We did not win that war. We did not break down the Afghan army. They still are terrorizing people every day. We just didn't have the resources or the reasoning to continue on anymore, and we pulled our troops out, along with all of those people, as I said, that helped us. So please be mindful of the immigrants you are speaking of, because I'm speaking about the immigrants coming directly from Mexico, walking across the border. These are the ones that I want to stop. I'm not talking about, clearly the immigrants from the Middle East cannot just walk in here. Not in my state anyway, not after 9/11. They are highly scrutinized, and they are still treated very badly because of decisions of their country, even though they don't agree with it. They go through hell to get here. They go through far more paperwork to get here. They're watched closer. You know, they have to do things correctly, because they'll be marked as a terrorist if they don't, due to the nature of what happened in my state. So I don't feel like people are accepting what an immigrant that comes into this country that does have a green card or a school scholarship, visa, whatever, or they're here being a doctor or working in some kind of profession for an American company. They are still immigrants, but they did it correctly. They had to have the paperwork, they had the documentation, and they often still pay taxes. You know, some immigrants are excluded depending on the circumstances, but most of these people who do it correctly do pay tax or some kind of fee to be able to be in this country, and they have to renew and submit. My boss is not American. He has to renew his visa, he has to renew his work papers, and he's on top of it, and they're very professional about it. None of these people should be attacked or included in what I'm about to say. I'm talking about directly, specifically, the ones walking across and getting things handed. The people that I just mentioned, the good people, they don't get that help. It's really only the Mexicans getting that help. And I have a problem with that because, now, I don't mean this in any, like, cultural way, but towards other people. Like, I love Mexican culture. Day of the Dead is one of my favorite things. I love Mexican people. I love how you dance. I love your music. I love your food. Can't really eat it anymore because I have acid reflux, but I'm not bashing Mexico or Mexican people. But you are a terrorist to my country if you have walked across this border. If you have taken money and you are not here with a green card and you do not have paperwork, you are my enemy. You are a terrorist because you are specifically taking from people like me, the poor, middle class. You're taking our homes. You're taking our seats in schools and programs. You're taking our funding for food and assistance, you know, because we still work jobs and don't make enough money. And say a single mom, you know, she's working 2 jobs. How can she work 3, 4 jobs and still be there for their children to be able to afford things? Meanwhile, you're paid to sit in your house, not work, and have a relationship with your children. You are the enemy because you are not refusing fair. Like, you're not refusing help to be fair. If you wanted to truly be one of us, taking what we don't get, taking what you don't deserve, and doing it wrong, shows you don't care about American culture and you don't care about American people. You are the cartel. The very people you are running from, the people that come into your towns and take your home and demand money and push you around at gunpoint, you're doing the same thing without a gun. Without violence, you're literally doing the same thing. You're pushing someone out of their home. You're pushing them away from health insurance. You're pushing them away from help for their family. And a lot of last year in our school systems, New York State had to close certain schools in New York City, which means we had to put our kids back on online learning, away from their friends, away from their sports programs to house you. So now you're taking education from our children. Meanwhile, while you're sitting in that school that you didn't pay for, because schools are paid for tax money, that means us, not you, you're getting an education, a one-on-one education from our American teachers, but our American kids have to watch that American teacher on a screen. And kids, very, very young, are having to do this where they need a teacher interaction. They need one-on-one learning, especially special needs people. You are taking their spots too, because all special needs immigrants were in school. And the ones that are American were pushed out. You are a terrorist. You are a gangster. You act just like them. You push yourself where you do not belong. You push us out. You attack us for telling you to get out of our country. It's not that we don't want you to come back. We want you to get out. Do the paperwork, apply so that you do it correctly, so that we do not get an influx of you, so we do not have to close our schools and our cities and our programs to help you. You are the cartel. You bring drugs into my country way more than anyone. Right now, you're walking in our country with drugs on your back, not money. You're bringing death to my country with your diseases that are going unchecked. You know, there's very different cultures between Mexican and American cultures, and there's germs that Americans are not exposed to and Mexicans are not exposed to. We are making each other sick because there's too many of you.